welcome to Scrappin with Sheri. You probably noticed that my table looks a little more cluttered than usual, but I have just been pulling out bits and pieces of things that I think could go together to make this quick page layout that we're going to do today. Now, I'm going to be using the Wanderlust collection and specifically the tone-on-tone papers out of this. This is a great option if you are traveling, and I'm kind of in the mood for that because my husband and I are going to start traveling over the next several weeks, and I wanted to go ahead and pre-design a few pages. So I've pulled some leftover stickers, a border embellishment that I have, a couple of border stickers, some mats from various places, and I'm going to put them all together to make a lovely two-page spread. Now, I am using the Wanderlust papers. These particular papers that I've chosen are out of the tone-on-tone Wanderlust. And the only tool that you need for this is your 12-inch trimmer. This is considered a beginner page through Creative Memories. And I've done this page several times. And it's so simple, but the way you dress it up is with your embellishments. So I'm using this paper, and I don't know how well you can see the color, but it's sort of a peachy color, and then it's got little dots in it that are a touch brown. The back side of it is a brown stripe, an orangey brown stripe, but I really like this as a background color because where we're going is out west, and I feel like some of the rocks and things will lend themselves to this background color. Now, I chose a pattern to go on top of that I liked both sides. I love the blue on the back with the map look to it. I like this brown. It's got the arrows and just some world designs in it that coordinate perfectly with this because the arrows are almost exactly the same color. But I do think the blue is going to be a nice addition as well. So these two will be the background. This one is the one we will cut. And we've just got a few cuts to make, and then we'll just lay this page out and be ready to go. So we're going to make 4 1.5-inch cuts. Now, you know I like to do as much cutting into the right side of my mat as I can. So I'm going to go ahead and do those 1.5-inch cuts. And the 1.5 is right near the number 4, the little 4 right there. But it's the 1.5-inch line. It's not all the way to the outside edge of your trimmer. A lot of people think it is, but it's not. That's a 1 3/4. So I'm making 4 1.5-inch cuts. And that leaves me with 1 6-inch piece, which is exactly what I needed. So let's lay these out. These are my 2 background papers. And all I'm going to do is lay this one here to cover up that whole side. And then here I'm going to alternate. I'm going to use the back sides of these to bring out some blue. And I'm going to put the brown back in with it. And these are non-directional papers, which makes it a lot easier. If you're cutting with directional papers, you have to be really careful about the way you do this particular layout. And it might even be easier to use 2 different kinds of papers because it's hard to get a direction going this way and get it going this way unless you want to turn your paper sideways and do your layout that direction, which is also fine. So I'm just going to tape down these little strips. I butted them right up against the edge, and then I'm going to put this one right up against the other one. And the good thing about this is when you get these papers on here, we've used a half, a half, a half, a half, which makes about 6 inches if we measure correctly. So that's going to leave us 6 inches in the middle. And, you know, our pictures are 4 by 6 generally. So that gives you exactly enough room to stack 3 pictures side by side there in the middle. Or you can cut them down a little bit and add them in. But again, a really quick, easy layout. The really nice thing about this is you don't even have to cut pictures at all to go on these 2 pages because you've also got 6 inches here, 3 horizontal pictures, boom, 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 you're ready. And I felt like laying out some pre-designed pages would help me when we come back from our trip, just because I know the fall gets really busy And I felt like if I had pages ready to go, I could get those pictures in an album quickly once we return. Yeah, I don't scrapbook on our big trips, mainly because we are going to fly on this one, and it's just too hard to carry this stuff. And usually by the time we get back to the hotel at night, I am so exhausted, I don't even feel like scrapbooking. I know you've probably never heard me say that. Now, let's look at the embellishments I pulled. I've got the planes, and because I do know that we're going to be flying, I felt like the planes might be a good option. And, you know, part of me wants to just add them both over here and be done with it. But I also loved this border strip. The problem with it is it's really not going to show up well. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and add the planes here. And I could do a couple of different things with them. I could add them up here to create that border look, but I think I like them right here over the seam better. And I'm not adding foam squares to these because I know I'm going to put some foam squares on in just a minute. The planes seem to dip in the middle. Let's hope they don't really when we go on our trip, huh? All right, and I'm making those go in towards the inside of the page. I think I'll make these go the other direction just for some interest. And that finishes up a sticker strip. Do y'all love it as much as I do when you finish a sticker strip? I know it's crazy, but I love it when I can throw just a little bit of trash away. All right, so we got our planes going both directions. Sticker strip is done. Now I had some extra mats, and I really like these. This one says, "We were born to roam." I love it, and I think that would be really good right there, but I just don't know how many pictures I'm going to have yet. This one says, "Our little getaway," which would be fantastic to go right here because I'm going to have to journal some. This one is even a nice map, but I don't necessarily like the red with that because it's not going to stand out well over there. This one's a cute saying. I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. That might be a good one for us. So these mats, I think I'm going to hold off on until I get pictures developed. I know that I'm going to use them, but I don't know exactly where yet. So I'm going to hang on to those. But I do love this. I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. So let's just go back to our 12-inch trimmer, or the personal trimmer would work for this. And I'm going to cut this little tag down because I don't necessarily love this color on the outside. But I do like the saying. I do like the look of the tag. And y'all, it's okay to cut down these mats. I have found more and more that I really like the mats more for titling. And I don't necessarily use them quite as much for journaling or actually matting photos. All right, if I add that here, I've still got places to put a couple of pictures here. I've got places for pictures here and here. So I've still got a lot of room left, which I really like. Now, let's look at some stickers that I had left over. These stickers were from the incentive that was offered in July, maybe? June or July. And, of course, I got those and the luggage punch that I'll be using on another page. But one thing that I liked was the multicolors of luggage on here. I just think that's really nice. So I think what I want to do is add them down through here and use my foam squares. Now, I did finally open a pack of the multi-size foam squares, and y'all, they are just fabulous. So because the different sizes, I only have to use one foam square on a lot of things. You see that great big foam square? And what I'm going to do is just kind of alternate these up and down and here and there, up and down this border right here. I'm just trying to, got to punch out the handle. I'm just trying to create a border look here. Now, yes, I'm going over here, which means a 4x6 won't fit, but typically I can cut down enough side to side, so that's not an issue. And I'm trying to look at different colors, different sizes, and I think every other one I'm going to foam square just to help it stand up off the page a little bit. Now, if you earned that border the luggage border punch, this might be a good place to do that, except all your luggage is going to be sideways unless you want to cut it apart and use it like stickers instead. It's always an option, just a little bit more work. So what about if we add this into the center? Then I could still put a picture above and below. You know what? I may even cut this down a little bit more just to make it just a touch smaller. I don't necessarily need all that extra space. We do want our pictures to be the focus because that's why we do the pages, right? I think I like that, and I think I even like it crooked because picture here, picture here. So let's add one more piece of luggage going up, and I'm going to go ahead and add this flat. I'm not going to foam square this saying, and I'm tucking it right under that piece of luggage, and then we'll add another piece of luggage right there. How do y'all travel? When we travel, we try our best to get it all in one big suitcase, and then we do a couple of carry-ons, and that's about it. We hate haggling with suitcases through the middle of an airport. Now look, I could actually go ahead and add something here and keep my border going without covering up words. Wasn't necessarily what I intended initially, but I think that would look good too. So all of our luggage is kind of grouped. I'm going to scoop this one down just a hair, just so it meets up with that one a little bit better. But the handles of every piece of luggage are close to the other one, so I don't have stickers just flying out in the middle of nowhere. So I do like this look. We've got room for photos. We've got room for photos here. Let's see what else we might want to add to this. Haven't been everywhere, but it's on my bucket list. Look at this. This is live to travel. Off we go. Now, I think I like this off we go because that pulls more of the blue from this side. So what about if we add that right here in this corner? Again, with one of these bigger size foam squares. Look at the different sizes. This one is just huge, and I love that. It's going to save a lot of time. Now, this particular sticker has a little design, a direction to it because it's got little mountains. So I want to make sure that I put my mountains correctly as I put them on there. Off we go. And then there are a couple of little X's here, just in different colors, that I could sprinkle on here just for fun. They bring in that grayy blue from over here. And I am making these fly, which I normally don't. Usually I have everything grouped. But I think I like that look. So, in just a few minutes and just a few cuts, we have managed to create a 2-page spread. Now, if I wanted to, I could go back and pull a lighter color to stick my pictures on here and here. I could pull a darker background for here, but so much of that will depend on the photos that I choose to use. So, 2 pages, quick and easy. I hope you enjoyed this layout. I hope you'll give it a shot because it is so very easy, but really, really cute. Until next time, happy scrapping.